5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems go with Josh Appelbaum starts now.
Hello and welcome to episode 414 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. I am your host, Josh Appelbaum. What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday. Our work week has come to an end. We got a huge weekend ahead here, guys. So as always on a Friday, going to unveil our final best bet card for college football Saturday. Only one sweat. And I hope you played this when we talked about it earlier in the week because we're getting good CLV on this one. And then also I have 5 plays for you in the NFL for Sunday. So theme of the day, if you tuned into, or theme of the week, I should say, or theme of Sunday in particular, if you tune into the Rhythm Rundown last night, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern time, is a lot of sharp dogs where the dog is like, +6 and Rhythm says they should be +4. Or the dog is, +1.5 and maybe they should be favored. So a lot of these dog system matches are lighting up for us. So I did find 5 plays coming up on Sunday. You might know a few of them already if you sign up to get those All Systems Go best bet picks for $4.99 a week on Juice Reel. I put a bunch in last night after I did the show with my buddy Cade, the Rhythm Rundown. But overall, guys, 2 plays for tonight. So don't think I'm leaving you hanging here tonight, guys, because I do have 2 plays in college basketball. It's a very small slate. There's only 8 games overall. There are some huge spreads. Like I'm looking at Xavier -18 against Missouri State, UConn's -13.5 against Texas. A lot of big numbers, but I found a couple shorter numbers that are moving toward the dog. So a couple dog plays here in college basketball. So with 2 plays, let's at least try to get one of them. If we could get both, that'll be a fantastic Friday night. So 2 college plays for tonight, 1 college football game for tomorrow, 5 NFL games for Sunday. Now, looking back to our last night, guys, how about those Dirty Birds? The Atlanta Falcons, unbelievable. They're looking good pretty much throughout the game. Then they got down by 14 in the fourth quarter. I'm like, ooh, that's not good for us in our +5.5. But they battled back and actually won the game outright, 29-28. So pour one out for my Tampa Bay division winner here. It's getting dicey. I don't know if Carolina's going to overtake them. I hope not, because I actually have a play on Carolina and the Saints that we'll talk about later. But that was really a just Hall of Fame, blueprint play for us with Atlanta. If you look in the dictionary, the sports betting encyclopedia for just system play matches, it was the Atlanta Falcons, a super contrarian divisional primetime dog with a line freeze. So basically the line really never moved off 5.5. Some books did close at the very end at 6, but it was mostly 5.5 all week, even though 80% of bets were on Tampa Bay. So we were heavily bet, contrarian spot. We were a divisional dog, and we also had the primetime dog system match as well. And we had all those system matches in terms of primetime dogs getting 4.5 or more, now upwards of 60% against the spread since 2020, as well as the Baker Mayfield stat that I gave you, which was Baker Mayfield really good as a dog in his career, not so much as a favorite. I believe now he's 4-8 against the spread when favored by 4.5 or more with Tampa Bay. And overall in his career, he's way below 500. So it's nice to see a primetime gross divisional dog flap their wings for us. Great hit there with the Atlanta Falcons. Unfortunately, it was a 1-2 night, -1.09 units, because even though the Falcons came through for us, freaking Ooey Pooey and UT Rio Grande, both losers, short money line favorites, system matches galore, both let us down. And the annoying part of both those games is that both teams were leading at halftime. So Ooey Pooey was up at half, UT Rio was up at half, and you're like, okay, here we go. And both really just, don't show up in the second half and lose it for us. So couldn't get either of those college games. I'm like, can you at least get one? We have a 2-1 winning night, but unfortunately didn't break our way. But still a nice winner there with the Falcons. So overall 1-2, -1.09 units last night. Sadly, our 3-day or 4-day winning streak came to an end, but that just means that we're hungry to start a new streak. So with that being said, let's waste no more time. Let's talk some college basketball for tonight before we get to the card for this weekend here in pro and college football. Number 1, I mentioned earlier, small slate, only 8 games. And I'm looking at, okay, where are the sharp line moves at, which also correspond with some good rhythm edges. And I landed on 2 games. So the first one is a tiny little added extra game. Game 306, 611, 306, 612, 8 o'clock Eastern time, East Tennessee State at Austin Peay. Now let's set the stage. Talk line movement, split system matches. I'll give you my play here. Now, East Tennessee State is 8-2. They've won 2 straight. Just beat up on Division II Tuscaloosa. I don't know who that is, and they didn't even have a betting line for that game. But that was a 78-62 win over the D2 school. Meanwhile, Austin P 4-5 on the year. Started off pretty good, but they've lost 4 of their last 5. Just lost to UT Rio Grande Valley. So UT Rio could beat Austin P, but couldn't get a win for us last night. You can tell I'm a little bitter about those college games last night. But anyway, they lost to UT Rio 63-50. Didn't cover as a 3.5-point road dog. So what have we seen across the market here? Well, this game opened East Tennessee State listed around a 3.5-point road favorite. And the public, even though it's a lower bet game, there's so few games to choose from. It's actually a decently bet game. Again, the big slate, these added extra games get completely overlooked. But when there's only 8 games and there's like a 6 o'clock game, let's see, 3 7 o'clock games, 2 8 o'clock games, an 8:30 and a 9. They're kind of spread out here. So public's itching for the action. So they're thinking, 8-2 team laying a short number against a 4-5 team that's lost 4 or 5. Let's go East Tennessee State. That's what the public is saying. So nearly 60% of spread bets are laying with East Tennessee State. However, we open -3.5 East Tennessee State. We're still -3.5 East Tennessee State. Now, very early when this line opened, it did get as high as 4.5, but it didn't last long. Went right back down to 3.5. So basically, we're looking at a line freeze play here. Similar to the Falcons last night, not nearly as heavily bet, but basically the public is loading up on the favorite, but the line really hasn't moved at all. So that tells me there's a reluctance on the part of the sports books to raise this number any higher and give out a better number to Austin P. So that's your line freeze. Heavy betting one side, but the line really won't move at all. That's an indicator of smart money. Now, if we look at DK, only about 40% of spread bets, but 64% of spread dollars are on Austin P. So little low bets, higher dollar split there in their favor. You look over at Circa, 80% spread bets, 90% spread dollars on Austin P. So that tells me out in Vegas, you got a lot of big money going the other way and taking the dog here, which is what I'm doing. Now, Ken Pom has East Tennessee State winning by 3 points, 72-69. So we can get the 3.5 here, and that would give us a half point or a hook edge on Austin P. So if Ken Pom nails it, lose by 3, we cover with the 3.5 with Austin P. Austin P is also a classic buy low, sell high play, a below 500 team on a losing skid against a sell high above 500 team on a winning streak. Then we look at some home road. East Tennessee State, they're 8-2 overall, but they're 7-0 at home, but they ain't home tonight. They're on the road, and on the road, they're only 1-2. So great at home, losing on the road. They're on the road tonight. Austin P, very similar. They're 2-5 on the road, not very good, but they're 2-0 at home. So I try to mention this as much as I can. I know it didn't come through last night for us, but home road, typically it's a bigger edge in college than it is in pros because these college kids aren't as used to the travel, the mean crowd, all that kind of stuff. Pros, it's like no big deal. They're used to it. I did notice this total dip a bit. It was like 143.5 to 142.5, and there was a good split on the under. But adding it all up here, guys, public's going East Tennessee State, but the line really hasn't moved at all. We got low bets, higher dollars, buy low, sell high. Ken Pom's got a 3-point game, so that's an edge on the 3.5. And oh, by the way, popped open Rhythm. Rhythm has 2 recommended plays on Austin P. One says the game should be plus 2.4. Another one says the game should be plus 2.5. So a half-point edge with Ken Pom and a full-point edge with our friends at Rhythm. So long story short, guys, by the way, can anyone name me the Austin P nickname or a mascot? The Governors. I'm going Governors tonight. Plus 3.5. You can get that pretty much anywhere. Again, Rhythm's got a 2.5-point game, and Ken Pom's got a 3-point game. So I'm taking the dog here, Austin P plus 3.5. Next one for you. I think if you like Austin P, I believe you also like Eastern Washington. So 9 o'clock tonight, your late game, your only game after 8:30. And we have Cal Baptist visiting Eastern Washington. Cal Baptist comes in 7-3, but they started 7-0, and they've lost 3 straight. They just fell to Utah 91-85. Did cover, though, as a 5.5-point road dog. Meanwhile, Eastern Washington, 2-7. Did just snap, however, a 3-game losing skid with a 90-66 win over Kansas City. They covered as a 9.5-point home favorite. So what have you seen across the market here? Well, this game opened. Cal Baptist listed as a 4.5-point road favorite. And the public, this is not an added extra game, and also it's your late game. So it's actually one of the most heavily bet games of the night. Public says, give me Cal Baptist all day. 7-3 team, only laying 4.5 against a 2-7 team. So right now we are getting nearly 70% of spread bets laying it with Cal Baptist, the Lancers. However, even though they're getting, nearly 70% of tickets, they're not up to -5.5, -6. The line is down to 3.5. So why would the odds makers drop Cal Baptist if they're so popular, getting so much support, from -4.5 down to -3.5? Why are they basically making it easier for the public to cover when they're already playing Cal Baptist to begin with? Well, it tells me that's because smart money came in on Eastern Washington and the points, triggering that sharp reverse line movement. So Public Baptist line going to E-Wash here. Now, Eastern Washington, believe it or not, is one of your top bet against the public plays of the night, only getting basically less than a third of tickets, and you wouldn't expect it, but it's such a small slate, a pretty heavily bet late night game. Now, Eastern Washington, some advantages here: better effective field goal percentage, 54% versus 48%, better three-point shooting, 35% versus 31%, and slightly better free throw shooting, 71% versus 70%. Once again, home road, Cal Baptist, they're 4-0 at home, but they're only 2-3 on the road. They're on the road tonight. Eastern Washington, 0-7 on the road, but they're 2-0 at home. So hopefully some home cooking. And then here's a little angle. As I was looking at kind of the recent performance for both teams, I just gave you those home road stats. But Eastern Washington, they're playing their second straight home game. So no travel, sleeping in your own bed, advantage there hopefully, versus Cal Baptist, who is on the final leg of a 5-game road trip. So this is their 5th straight road game, and they've gone 1-3 in those first 4 games. So is it one of those games where, it's been a long trip, you're tired, you're ready to go home, it may be a letdown spot. Maybe get out of here and just, warm up the bus, we want to go back home. Maybe that's a little bit of an edge here in favor of Eastern Washington. Now, most books are at plus 3.5, but I just checked it right now. Hopefully you can get this in early, or you follow the plays on Juice Reel. But Eastern Washington is plus 4.5, -120 at FanDuel. So I jumped on that plus 4.5, -120 at FanDuel. Again, every other book is like 3.5. Rhythm, by the way, has E-Wash plus 2.6 and plus 2.7. So a decent little, nearly 2-point edge. And then, oh, by the way, popped open Juice Reel and noticed a 46% sharp mush edge on Eastern Washington, the Eagles. So that is a big, big discrepancy in favor of Eastern Washington. So again, shop around, got to have multiple outs. If you're looking for New Year's resolutions, as the end of the year is upon us here, guys, maybe it should be adding another book. So if you don't have a FanDuel, boom, you could get a 4.5 there if you want to open an account. So Eastern Washington plus 4.5, -120, and Austin P plus 3.5. You should be able to get that at -110. Now, our card for the weekend. It's a big weekend, guys, and I'll be honest with you. My wife's best friend, she was her maid of honor at her wedding, and she was her college roommate. They went to St. John's together. She is hosting a holiday party tomorrow in Stamford, Connecticut. So we're driving down. We're going to the holiday party, and we might get into New York City on Sunday. So basically, I'm like, hey, do you have a TV? Like the girl Karen, I love her. She's awesome, but not really into sports. Probably gonna have great food, by the way. But I'm like, any chance we can get Army Navy on the TV? And she's like, I don't even know if she has a TV. So I might not even be able to sweat this. What are you gonna do? But I did play the Army Navy game. Now, I'm really proud of us for identifying this very early in the week. I believe it was on Monday that we talked about this game because we wanted to get out ahead of it. But guys, death taxes and give me the Army Navy under. Now, we've talked about this quite a bit. If you've done, Army Navy games with me in the past, I love playing the under. There's a reason for it. Because both these teams rarely throw the ball and they run it a lot, running the ball chews up the clock. Also, they both run it a lot, so they both practice against the run. So hopefully you know what to do to stop it. But that's the whole point. There's a betting system that I've loved for a long time. It was one of the first systems that made me understand what a betting system is, which is not a trend. A trend is usually just tied to one team. A betting system is, it doesn't matter what teams you plug in, if it meets a specific criteria with a sound theory behind it, like a windy under, doesn't matter the teams, but as long as it's windy, it benefits the under. Well, this is your military academy under. So Army, Navy, or you could throw Air Force in there. Anytime they face off two of those teams out of three against each other, you've seen the under cashed nearly like 70% of the time over the last 25 years. In particular, this game here, Army-Navy, now it went under 16-0, 16 straight years from 2006 to 2021. In 2023, 2 years ago, the total was 28.5, the lowest total, I believe, in recent memory, and it actually did cash. It was a 17-11 game. It landed on 28. But last year it went over, and it was a similar total, 38.5, and it landed on 44. Navy won 31-13. But if you remember, each year when it comes to this Army-Navy game, you're going to get a lot of Twitter talk about this, where a lot of the sharps are going to play the under, whereas the public doesn't understand why the total's so low. They want to bet the over anyway. And they're thinking, hey, if this thing has gone like 16-0 over that stretch, people look at it one of two ways. They look at it one way saying, hey, you got to play the under because it's proving to be really good. Other people say, hey, it's due for regression. So I guess you could make the case for both. But remember, the odds makers, they're adjusting these numbers each year based on the matchup, the power ratings. So with that being said, last year it did go over. So I'm thinking everyone who played the over last year, the public, is saying, hey, it is too low. The under trend is done with. Play the over. So maybe it's an opportunity to kind of go the other way, sell high, and go back to our underplay. And that's exactly what I've done, and I hope you guys did too. Because if you remember, this game opened 38.5. And on Monday's pod, I believe, it got up to 39.5. And I said, ooh, it's 39.5, but a lot of books are juiced under. I don't maybe see this going higher than that. We should jump on it now. So we did. Talked about it Monday, put it in the Juicer app. So I'm on under 39.5. Now, if you're looking at the number now, it's 38.5. So if you want to play it, unfortunately, the best number is now gone, but there are some 38s out there. So maybe the hook, you get the 38.5, it closes 38. Hopefully you can still get some CLV. But I have some updated splits for you guys. If you look at Army-Navy at DraftKings, 43% bets, but 72% of dollars are on the under. And at Circa, 59% of bets, but 81% of dollars are on the under. So this bet split has gotten really, really sharp, throughout the week. So again, we have a sharp mush edge. There's an 8% sharp mush edge from our friends at Juice Reel. This is a Military Academy underplay. And again, hopefully you got that better number earlier in the week. So best number right now is under 38.5, but I'll be sweating the under 39.5, and hopefully you guys were able to jump on that a little bit earlier as well. Now, we haven't really talked much about the NFL because I was kind of letting some dust settle, and I always like to get perspective from Rhythm and my buddy Cade Harper. So I landed on 5 games this weekend. That really jumped out to me. So let's just run through them. First one, near and dear to my heart, Bills Patriots, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Obviously, this is a big game for the Patriots, for both teams, but this is what used to be called by Bill Belichick the hat and T-shirt game. If the Pats win this game, they get a hat and T-shirt, they win the AFC East. Now, this line has kind of gone back and forth. If you look at where it opened, some shops opened at a pick'em, some shops opened Patriots, laying a point or point and a half. It has moved now to Bills, -1, -1.5, but some of those 1.5s are now down to 1. So it's kind of been all over the place. Now the public, they don't know what to do. They're 50-50. On the one hand, how do you not take Bills, such a short number? The other hand, how do you not take Patriots at home as a dog? They're 11-2. They've been great. So there's no contrarian value here. However, I did notice that even though it's 50-50 at DK, Circa has 31% bets, but 54% dollars on the Patriots. Patriots also would be a divisional dog, so always love that divisional dog angle, just like we had with the Falcons yesterday. Mike Vrabel as a dog, 3-1 ATS this year, 58% ATS in his career. Patriots also have a rest versus tired advantage as they are coming off a bye week. And Mike Vrabel, it's his first year off a bye with the Patriots, but back when he was with, and this is a great stat from my buddy Cade Harper, he brought to the show last night, but Mike Vrabel is 6-1 straight up and against the spread off a bye. And those obviously date back to his years with Tennessee. Lastly, what really sent me over the edge with the Patriots, Rhythm, I got 3 models. Pats -0.8, Pats -1.7, Pats -1.1. So there's no contrarian value, but I'm still not on the public side. It's 50-50 DK. But sharp split at Circa, rest versus tired off a bye, Vrabel off a bye, divisional dog, And Rhythm is actually saying wrong team is favored. Patriots should be favored in this one. So I did grab plus 1.5 with New England. Let's go Pats. Next one for you. Chargers in Kansas City. This one's crazy because I have to respect this line has ticked up toward Kansas City a little bit. So Kansas City, as we all know, in dire straits right now, might miss the playoffs. Really have to win out and maybe even get some help just to get back into it. But this game opened minus 4.5 KC, and I really, don't object to people who want to go with the Chargers here, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm a little surprised, though. KC went from minus 4.5 up to minus 5.5, and that is notable to me because if you look at the splits right now you are getting let me find it for you, the Chargers are getting around 60% of tickets, but the line did move toward KC. So if you like KC, I'm not going to argue. They do look decently sharp. But over at Circa, 74% of bets, 96% of spread dollars are on the Chargers. So the splits at DK tell you KC, the splits at Circa tell you LA Chargers. Now, the angle for me is not really a sharp play, but I would call a value play with the Chargers. So I'll go plus 5.5 here with the Chargers. If you look at number 1, divisional dog, built-in familiarity, levels the playing field. Again, just mentioned Pat's divisional dog, and the Falcons divisional dog came through last night. Justin Herbert as a dog, 2-0 ATS this year, 57% ATS in his career. When Herbert is a dog of 3.5 or more, he's 11-2 against the spread in his career. So that's another great angle here. And our friends at Rhythm, I have 3 models: Chargers plus 4.5, Chargers plus 4.1, Chargers plus 2.1. So even if you take the 4.5, round it up to 5, that's still an edge over 5.5. And I'll be honest with you guys, I've been betting against Kansas City. I feel like every single week, and it's been coming through. So if you just kind of look at Kansas City's schedule and the way they've really struggled here, just overall during the season, but of course in recent weeks, I remember took the Broncos at home against Kansas City, like plus 3.5. Took the Colts against Kansas City, they covered. Remember Cowboys on Thanksgiving covered. Texans, we took them last week, they covered. So at what point do we just say, man, if you're giving me points against KC, I'm going to take them? Well, with those Rhythm edges, again, saying it should be closer to a 4 or even a 2-point game, divisional dog, Herbert as a dog, I played the Chargers here. Now, I got a bad 4.5. I was really shocked to see it get up to 5.5. But if you want to play it now, you can get that 5.5. So let's go Chargers. Next one for you, Denver and Green Bay. Great matchup here. Maybe a Super Bowl matchup. Who knows? Open my Pats, find a way to get in there for the AFC. But this one is a value play that's starting to come back. So I took Denver plus 2.5. Now, must admit, the line did creep up toward Green Bay. Green Bay opened like -1 on the road. They're now up to -2.5. But a lot of these 2.5s are juiced up. Some books are getting back down to 2. So it kind of ticked up toward Green Bay, but now it's kind of water seeping its level, whatever you want to call it, coming back toward Denver. And if you look at the splits at Circa, 59% bets, 81% dollars on Denver. So a good low bets, higher dollar split. Denver in the points, though, I was hoping for a 3, a key number of 3. You could tease them up. It's a great teaser play, 2.5 to 8.5. But a lot of these 2.5s are getting down to 2, and I don't think the 3 is going to show itself. So I said I might as well guarantee I get a 2.5 here. Again, Peyton can go for 2, and weird things can happen. Miss kick McManus, I don't know. So at least I want to get the 2.5 there with the hook. But you have a dog low total, very low total of 42.5. Good bet split at Circa. Home field advantage. Denver 6-0 at home this year. It's really hard to go into Mile High and win a game. Rhythm, by the way, has Denver plus 1, Denver plus 1.6, and Denver plus 0.0. So some of these models are pick 'em game. So if you're giving me a incredible home field advantage team, dog low total, good bet split, Rhythm says it should be maybe a pick 'em game, I took the 2.5 there with the Denver Broncos. So let's go Broncos plus 2.5. Next one for you, New Orleans Saints. A gross one. Carolina Panthers, New Orleans, 425 coming up on Sunday. Now, this line kind of has been hovering basically 2.5, 3, 2.5, 3, 2.5, 3. Looks like there's kind of a battle between some pros who like Carolina minus 2.5, and a lot of pros who really like New Orleans plus 3. Well, count me in the group with the latter, which would be New Orleans plus 3. I took Saints plus 3, guys. Now, a lot of books are 2.5, but I found Saints plus 3 minus 115 at Fanatics. The first thing that jumped out to me is just how contrarian New Orleans is. If you look at the Saints right now, public wants nothing to do with them. They're only getting 20% of spread bets. So 80% of spread bets are on Carolina. Everyone's playing Carolina. But again, 2.5, 3, the line really has not moved at all. And anytime it gets to 3, it seems to get juiced up and come back down to 2.5. So that told me we're looking at a epic line freeze on New Orleans plus 3. Now, New Orleans would also be a divisional dog. Dog low total. This one, the lowest total. I think it might be the lowest total of the week. Only 40.5 in a dome, nonetheless. By the way, Philly and Vegas is the lowest total, 38.5, and Kenny Pickett is playing in that one. But a divisional dog, as well as a line freeze, dog low total, and everyone and their mother is on Carolina. That looks like a sharp plus 3 to me. So I did take the New Orleans Saints plus 3, and of course shop around because I think, that plus 3 minus 115 was at Fanatics. And again, the important thing there, like it's a teaser play, 2.5 up to 8.5 if you want to go in that direction, but you got to get the plus 3. It's the most common key number. So if New Orleans ends up losing by 3, again, you want to push that bet. And oh, by the way, I have 3 models on the Saints. One says the Saints should be plus 1.7. One says the Saints should be plus 1.1. And I have a Green Star recommendation that says Saints should actually be favored minus 0.6. So 3 rhythm models all lighting up on New Orleans. But again, got to get the 3. So I'm on Saints plus 3, minus 115. Last bet of the weekend, Sunday Night Football, Vikings, Dallas Cowboys. Give me the Vikings here, guys. I'll just tell you out front, when Dallas is popular laying points, I want nothing to do with them. When Dallas is unpopular getting points, I like to play the Cowboys. Like, again, remember the Cowboys against Philly and then the Cowboys against the Chiefs a couple weeks ago. But you look at that game against the Lions, they were kind of trendy. And they were, a bit of a trendy dog. Well, this spot, they are a very popular favorite, and it's a primetime Sunday Night Football game. So the Cowboys actually opened this game as high as a 7.5 point favorite. 7.5's got down to 6.5 and now 6. Some looks even now down to 5.5. Why is that important? Because right now, 76% of spread bets are going with the boys. So the boys are a very popular play in the most heavily bet game of the week, Sunday Night Football, or until we get to Monday night, which, by the way, I like Miami plus 3.5 there. I'll talk about that on Monday. But just a classic, not a divisional dog, but a primetime dog and a sharp reverse line move. 3 out of 4 bets on Dallas, yet Dallas has fallen. 7.5 down to 6.5 down to 6, some 5.5s there. Now, I did find Vikings plus 6.5. So, again, very important there that you get that hook. That plus 6.5 was minus 115 at FanDuel. You also have a good bet split at Circa, so you're very contrarian at DraftKings, only 24%. At Circa, 35%, but 87% dollars on the Vikings. I also have a Green Star Smart Signal recommended play from Rhythm, where it says Vikings should be plus 4.5. My second model is Vikings plus 0.3. Like basically a pick'em game. Third model, Vikings plus 4.6. But even take those 4.5s, you still get a full 2-point edge. If you got that FanDuel account, plus 6.5, minus 115. Oh, by the way, 31% sharp mush edge from our friends at Juice Reel on the Vikings. And I'm looking at, which one was it? J.J. McCarthy. He played pretty well. I didn't watch that game. I remember I saw the score. They blew out, was it the Commanders? But he was 16 to 23, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Brian Flores has that great blitz package that hopefully can get to Prescott. And Cowboys have had offensive line issues. So long story short, guys, there's some 5.5s out there. There's a lot of 6s out there. But you can still get Vikings plus 6.5, minus 115 at FanDuel. So that's what I'm doing. So Vikings, Saints, Denver, Chargers, Pats. Can we get 3 out of 5? Go 3-2 or better. Eke out a winning Sunday. That is the goal. So that about does it for episode 414 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. This is the part of the pod where we wrap things up, and I always start first by saying thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for grinding in the arena with me. It means a ton to me, guys, that we've created this community to try to find sharp bets with our head and not our heart. Take your contrarian approach. Betting numbers, not teams. You guys know the drill by now. But if you'd like to repay the favor, let me know you appreciate the pod. Please, could you give it a 5-star review on Spotify or iTunes? Rate and review. Click the follow button. Retweet the pod when I tweet it out. Recommend the pod to a friend. That would all be super cool and awesome of you. Next, if you enjoy this style of sports betting breakdown, data-driven, sharp contrarian betting, focusing on numbers, not what our heart is telling us, but what the betting market, the context clues, picking up on line movement, split system matches. Well, if this style of betting has appealed to you, you want to learn more about data-driven betting, but more importantly, guys, it's the 12th of December. You got 2 weeks until Christmas. And actually, Hanukkah, I'm half Jewish, very proud of that. You would probably expect by my last name, but I'm actually, quote-unquote, a fake Jew because technically your mom has to be Jewish. It's my dad who's Jewish. But you got Hanukkah coming up on Sunday. So if you are looking for a Hanukkah gift, a Christmas gift, a stocking stuffer, you know what you should do? Don't get a pair of underwear for your niece or your nephew. Don't get a collared shirt. Don't get them socks. You know, you should get them something that they can turn into, hopefully, buying 20 pairs of socks. That is the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook. Go buy my book for that stocking stuffer, that white elephant, that Hanukkah gift. You can get it on Amazon.com. You can also get my first book, The Everything Guide to Sports Betting. Heck, you could get both and be a really cool gift giver this month for the holidays. But grab one or both of them, guys, and then you can bring them to the sports book. I'll sign them for you. I'll buy you a beer or a ginger ale, and we'll sweat some games together this weekend. Next, have you downloaded Rhythm and Juice Reel yet? My 2 favorite sports betting apps. Rhythm, incredible for their AI-backed models and predictions for game bets and player props. Juice Reel, so many great features. First off, if you want to tip your podcast host, sign up to get the All Systems Go Best Bet Picks right from Juice Reel. As soon as I bet them, my sports books are synced up. I just actually added an account at Bally Bet the other day. They go right to the app, so you can tail fade, do what you like. But also, you're going to get the Robo Jackson Best Bet Picks, the Sharp Mush Indicators, the Arbitrage Plays, the Shop for the Best Line Futures, all available when you download Juice Reel. So download Juice Reel, download Rhythm, give them a 5-star review in the App Store. Next, you have a live odds page. If you don't have one, you need one. That makes your sports betting breakdown so much easier. It's never easy to win a bet, but again, I don't know how people bet without a live odds page. It's going to become such an important resource for you, being able to track the market in real time. What are the games that are available for me to bet on today? Start times, live scoring, live in-game wagering odds, being able to shop for the best price, comparing the opening number to the current odds, see which way the line has moved, pull up the line history, identify the steam, but again, getting the best price. Like that Vikings game, on my Odds Logic live odds page, pretty much every book is 6 or 5.5, but I found FanDuel plus 6.5. So again, they lose by 6. We can cover there. That's the importance of the live odds page. So if you'd like to give Odds Logic a shot, just go to oddslogic.com/Josh123. That'll give you a 7-day free trial, 50% off your first month. Next, have you joined up with Novig yet? Novig is a sports betting exchange and not a sports book. So as a result, you're going to get way better juice prices. The house is not there to jack up a minus 115, minus 120 on you. You're going to get plus 102, minus 103, plus 106, minus 107. Reduced juice, basically, RJ, which in the betting world is always a good thing. South Point does reduced juice. Sometimes BetMGM does it too, which is minus 105. But either way, guys, if you want to join up with the betting exchange, you're going to get better juice prices, and you won't get booted when you lose or when you you won't get booted when you win or be limited. So if you want to download Novig, when you fund your account, just put in Josh123 in the promo field. You'll get an extra $25. Lastly, good start. We have almost 20 signups already for the NFL Playoffs Splash Sports Survivor Contest. So again, it doesn't start until the playoffs start, but I'd love for you guys to join. It's $25 to join. You can have up to 7 entries. And the cool thing here is you got to save your Super Bowl winner for the very end. So if you think the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl, you don't want to use them first weekend. Or I guess they'll get a bye, divisional round. You want to save them. So there's a cool strategic aspect to it. But if you want to join up with Splash Sports, you can click the link on my Twitter page at Josh_Insights, and I am now putting the link in the bio description of the pod. So come on down, come join. I'd love for you guys to join in. I want one of the winners to be a podcast listener. But that about does it, guys. Wrapping up the weekend, or wrapping up the week as we steam into the weekend. A couple final thoughts. One, whether I see you at the Borgata in Atlantic City, Twin River in Rhode Island, the Brook in New Hampshire, Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun down in Connecticut, the Encore in Boston, Plainridge Park Casino, MGM Springfield, in my neck of the woods, by also the border of Nashua, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, the Nash, which I like to attend every now and again. We're out in the desert where the True Grinders get down, where Billy Walters sends his number runners, where the lowest trues possible is found at the South Point, or Sweat and Sharp Contrarian plays jumping in the stadium swim pool when you cash a big ticket at Circa. You're going to walk up to me, and we're just going to do a Dirty Birds dance, because the Falcons came up massive for the team last night. So show me a Falcons ticket. First one's on me, next one's on you. We'll post about the book. Sweat Sharp Contrarian plays all night long. So as always, guys, coming off a 1-2 or a 2-1, a 3-0 or an 0-3, a good night, a bad night, a hot streak, a cold streak. We just got to stay even keeled. We can't get cocky and arrogant and think betting is easy when we're doing well. We can't give up or say screw it and start chasing when we're struggling. Just got to stay even keeled. I always joke about this, but one of my favorite movies, The Departed, Leo, he always said, see my hand? It doesn't shake. So that's how we got to be. We can't shake. We just got to keep grinding the model, which is finding games that fit our criteria against the public, with the house, with the pros, flat bet, avoid parlays, and get that CLV. If we can do that, we're going to be successful sports bettors. So have a great Friday, everybody. Have an even better weekend. I'll see you back on Monday for episode 415 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody, and good luck.